Termites. How we doing? Good? It's September. That's exciting, right? It's my birthday month. It's Mardi Gras for Madigan, like Mardi Gras, but Mardi Gras. My birthday's not till the 30th, though. Yeah. What am I drinking? Well, a little Busch Latte, limited edition, only in about 5 states. North Dakota, South Dakota, Missouri, Iowa for sure. They drink more Busch Light than anybody. And it's in my Bud Light St. Louis glass with the arch, which you probably can't see from there, but there's a tiny arch. And then there's downtown. I don't even know where I got this. I know I asked for it, though, because sometimes I have been known to steal these. I did not steal this one. I remember asking. Usually if you say, hey, can I buy one of those? The bartender goes, just take it. Especially, you have to find a beaten down bartender who's just tired and cranky. They'll just give shit away because they're just pissed off in general. So Tanya is down in Branson, and she hires a new assistant, Tootie, instead of Judy. The band and I were staying at a house I'd rented at Big Cedar Lodge in Branson. See, that's where I told you guys to go. Google it. Crazy good golf. And if you're into the Bass Pro Shop, the mothership of all Bass Pro Shops, where it was created, is in Springfield, Missouri, which is not far away. Worth a trip. I love the Bass Pro Shop. And that guy, whoever owns it, is a comedy fan. And seems to be Johnny Morris, I think is his name. Shout out to Johnny Morris. Love Bass Pro Shop. Anyway, my musician boyfriend and I were still taking care of business at hand, so I had no idea that the pressure was building in him. We were all over the lodge that following afternoon when he crumbled and passed out. One of the other guys and I hauled him into the bathroom. This is her other boyfriend. While she has the Ben guy, and held him under the shower to try to revive him while Tootie called an ambulance. We all went to the hospital after the doctors examined him. I went in and sat with him. He had no idea what happened. He said he just started feeling weak, and the next thing he knew, he woke up in a hospital bed. By this time, his wife, had phoned Big Cedar Lodge and been told he'd gotten sick. She kept phoning the hospital, and he kept refusing to take her calls. I thought that since he wouldn't talk to his wife, they really were estranged or soon would be. I also thought he was overworked or had the flu or something. I didn't realize it was serious stress. What I didn't, because I don't think Tanya's ever acknowledged that. No, just keep moving. What I didn't know is that he was catching hell from both sides, his wife and my dad. Every time Dad called about band business, he riled him up on one side and down the other. Railed him up and down one side or the other. If my father ever wanted to fire a band member, this was the one. But this was also one of the few times he knew he couldn't do it, since he knew I'd stand squarely in the way. The musician's wife was doing some railing of her own. She wasn't sure her husband was having an affair, but she suspected it. Shoo, buddy, as my friend Ron would say, shoo, buddy. He stayed in the hospital that day, and we went straight back from Branson to the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the day we left Branson, his wife paid a visit to my dad. Oh my God, this is getting complicated. He was working at our offices in Brentwood, Tennessee, when he was told she had walked in the door and was asking to see him. She sat down in his office and explained that she needed to see her husband, and she knew that if only the two of them could spend more time, they could work things out. The problem was she didn't have any money to get to Las Vegas. Dad bought her a plane ticket. What? He now says it was her big, blue, honest-looking eyes that convinced him to help her, but I know exactly what it was. This was his way of handling a situation. Throw everybody in there together and see what happens after they mix it up. Wow. He knew Ben was coming to Vegas to see me and Presley, so we had a hell of a group assembling. My boyfriend and I had been having a good time at the Nugget. He'd come to my room and tell me how much he loved me. He's married! And thanked me for staying at the hospital when he was sick. I ate it up. Then one morning while I was sleeping, Tootie answered the door to our suite, and it was his wife. She brushed past Tootie, stormed into my bedroom, and sat down on the bed. Oh my God. She didn't stay long. And I was still half asleep when she was talking, so I don't remember the conversation verbatim. The gist of it, though, was that her husband loved her and that if I didn't get out of the picture, they could be happy again. I thought she was in total denial about their relationship, or maybe you are. Can we talk about that pot thinking the kettle black? No, that's not the pot kettle. That would be if she was having an affair. Then it's the pot calling the kettle black. But she's not, that we've been told about. Oh, my God. After she said her piece. I think that's spelled wrong. After she said I don't know. She left as quickly as she'd come. One thing I'd caught, my dad had bought her the ticket and that got her there. Daddy's going to pay for that one way or another. And if he didn't, he should. That's how I feel about that. I lay there in shock, wide awake finally, wondering what in the world this woman was up to. Well, she's married to the man you're sleeping with. She has a right to be up to something. I didn't have to wonder what my dad was up to. I phoned him and I raised hell. I told him that no matter what he did, he was not ruining my new relationship. And just what is it you have, Tanya? Dad asked. Love, that's what. I finally found a man who loves me just the way I am, I shot back. You have found a man with a wife and no backbone, he said. I'm with Daddy. You found a worthless excuse for a man, well, I don't know about all that, who has no respect for women, not for his wife and not for you. I agree. My God, Tanya, you are pregnant with another man's child. Exactly. And then he hung up. About this time, Ben arrived to pick up Presley. It was a relief to have him there on one level. At least I didn't have to worry about our daughter being around if the wife caused any more trouble. But if Dad thought he could count on Ben to make a repeat performance of his fight with my band member, he was wrong. Ben had his say, and he was finished with the whole thing. All he wanted was to see his child. Well, I'm glad Ben's coming around to all that. I got dressed and went off to the lobby with Tootie. And no sooner than we got off the elevator, I heard sirens. One of the guys rushed to say that my boyfriend had been out eating lunch with the rest of the band and passed out again. That's all. This guy just goes from town to town passing out. His wife was nowhere to be seen. I learned later that she was up in her husband's room phoning her parents in Phoenix. What? I climbed into the ambulance with him and once again waited at the hospitals while doctors tried to figure out what was wrong. Once again, he said he didn't want to talk to his wife either on the phone or in person. Right then, all I could think was that this man needed and loved me. Maybe the needing was more important than the loving. Who knows? I couldn't think straight. We went out into the hall to collect my thoughts. I went out into the hall to collect my thoughts, and the nurse stopped me. His wife and her parents are here now. You'll have to leave because his family asked to see him alone. Whoo! Shoo, buddy. All I could do is go outside, wait for word about his condition. As the nurse made clear, I wasn't family and I had no legal right to be there. I waited as long as I could, and then I went back and did my show. His wife, listen to what you're saying. His wife and her parents were gone by the next day, and when he checked out of the hospital, he told me not to worry, that he told her a divorce was the only answer. Since she was gone, I figured he was telling the truth. I don't believe it. He also explained that the doctors believed that he was having nervous attacks, but they were nothing serious. Maybe that's what they called panic attacks back then. Nervous attacks. My mom said back in the day, if you told the doctor you were nervous or you felt fat, they just told you to start smoking. I wonder if they had samples. Oh, really? Should I start smoking? Do you have Camel Lights? How about Marlboro Menthol? Do you have any of those click ones where I can turn it into a menthol if I click on the end of it? We played a couple of shows in New York State and Pennsylvania, then we headed out to Owensboro. I kept worrying about his health. Any worries about my own, I pushed aside. I was wearing down, but I wouldn't admit it to anyone, not to my parents, not to Tootie, and not to myself. I was 6 months pregnant and spending my time being anxious about my guitar player boyfriend might faint again. Owensboro is where it all came down, the final mess that ended my mess of a year. He and I never shared a room on the road. I always stayed in a suite with Tootie or whoever came with me to help with Prisley. After we checked into the rooms in Owensboro, I tried to call him, but the line was busy. I tried about a half hour and then again in about 15 minutes. I also checked in with Dad during this time, so I knew my boyfriend wasn't talking to him about band business. There could only be one other person occupying that much telephone time, and that was his wife. I went to his room and tried the door, which was locked. He was still on the phone and wouldn't answer the door. Tootie found a cleaning woman who opened the door for me. What? Who does this? What kind of hotel is this? And I went straight over to where he sat on the bed and held my hand and said, give me that phone. I held out my hand for the phone. Give me that. I'm going to tell her once and for all to give it up. She's going to have to accept this. Who does this? He shrunk back and clutched the phone to his chest. I think I'd realized then that much of what he'd been telling me had been bull. Yes, I grabbed the phone. I didn't even know what I was going to say. Maybe that the two of them deserved each other. He just jerked the receiver back so hard he hit himself in the face. He yelled something about his eye. Well, yeah, he probably, those things were heavy back in the day. But I stormed out and back to my suite. I crawled into bed and started to sob. He knocked at the door in a few minutes, but I didn't want to talk to him yet. So he went across the hall to Tootie and Jerry's room and called my dad. Tootie said the conversation was fearsome. He was screaming at my dad. My dad was screaming at him. You wanted me out of her life, he told Dad. Well, you got your wish, because I'm gone. Whoa. While he was on the phone, he was still on the phone to the musician. Dad got another call. The wife, also screaming. How did the wife get Daddy's phone number? I know Daddy bought a plane ticket for her, the wife of the husband that Tanya's having an affair with. Can't see my parents doing that. I can't see my parents buying me a plane ticket, more or less. No. Unlikely. Since her husband had yelled about his eyes, she figured I was beating him up. How is that the first conclusion? I guess he didn't explain that he'd hit himself with the telephone. She told Dad that she was heading for Owensboro, and I'd better hope her husband was all right, because if there was a mark on him, she might kill me. Not him. Not him. He's the one you're married to having the affair. The lady that he's having the affair with is a secondary problem. I just don't understand women that skip right over the man and go straight to the woman. He's the problem, your first primary problem. Huh. And if she didn't kill me, it was going to cost $50,000 to keep it out of the press. Whoa! Whoa! Blackmail. How did we think it would look, she asked. Tanya Tucker, 6 months pregnant with Ben Reed's child and having an affair with a married man. Well, it wouldn't look real good. I saw that, and I see it even more as I see it on this paper. It's not something I'm proud of having done. Well, she's still only like 14 at this point in the book. I'm kidding. She's 32. Dad didn't care about it getting in the papers. All he cared about that some woman had threatened his daughter and his unborn grandchild. Mother and Dad jumped in the car and somehow beat the woman to Owensboro. Oh my God. If I was 32 years old, my parents were this involved. No. They need to just go have fun. They don't need to be involved in all this drama. They came to my room where I was still flat on my back in my bed. I hadn't stopped crying since leaving the musician's room 2.5 hours earlier. Tootie and Jerry were standing in the lobby when the woman barged into the hotel. Jerry stood between her and the elevator. He tried to reason with her. She was not in the mood. Tanya Tucker has been screwing my husband, and she's 6 months pregnant with another man's baby, she shrieked. Now, she's hit him in the face with a telephone, and if he's hurt, I'm going to kill the bitch. Whoa. That would be a good day to be a bellman at that hotel. He'd be like, you're not going to believe this shit I saw. You get your minimum wage, get some tips, and this kind of action. That's a good day. The hotel had a huge open staircase with lobby areas opening to each floor, so anything said on the main floor lobby could be heard all the way to the top. Tootie says when the woman started yelling, the whole area turned silent. People on every floor who were waiting for elevators rushed to the rail to see what was going on. Most were probably conventioneers planning to attend my show that night. Oh, my God. I have stayed sometimes in the same place as where all the people that are going to the show is, but I don't cause drama like this. I just go to the bar afterwards, and then I get a lot of free drinks because they go back too, and they were at the show, and then I just take some pictures. And people are nice enough. It's fine. It's all fine, but I'm not hitting people or phones and, drama. She screamed at Jerry until he couldn't take it anymore. And then he physically picked her up, threw her over his shoulder, and carried her out of the hotel. Her husband was still standing outside, so Jerry dumped her at his feet. Picking up this woman was no small feat. She's not fat, but she's tall and athletic. She works out all the time and is probably as strong as Ben. Too bad he hadn't been there that night. The night Ben roughed up her husband. It might have been a fight worth seeing. That's right. Tanya's already got the UFC cage match. She has the primary match figured out. If I could get Ben and then this lady, it'd be good. The two left, and Jerry and Tootie came back to my suite. They found Dad and Mother in the living room. Dad was positioned by the door in case that woman tried to come in after me. I was behind closed doors. How are you getting ready for a show? Here's how I get ready for a show. I turn on the ID channel, and I take a nap while I listen to murder. And then I wake up, and there's a new one on, and I'm like, shit, I have to go to work. Fear Thy Neighbor, Evil Kin, Wives with Knives, Ringing Bells for Anyone. That's what I nap to. Okay. Tootie looked in and saw I was still crying. She went out and looked at my dad standing guard and said, Mr. Tucker, I've never met you, so I may be speaking out of turn. That's a line that a lot of hillbillies use. There's two lines that a lot of hillbillies use. Any person in the Ozarks that does work, if I need a chore and I hire a guy, whatever it may be, he'll go look at the problem and go, you know what? I don't like to shit on another man's work. And then they proceed to shit on another man's work. It's, for some reason, they feel the need to say that out of the gate. I don't know why. Just say it. This guy did a shitty job. That's all you gotta say. And the other one is, I might be speaking out of turn when they absolutely know they are. But it's just like a soft Krispy Kreme donut they put out there before they do it. It's trickery, if you will. Mr. Tucker, I never met you, and I may be speaking out of turn, but right now you have a daughter in there who needs your shoulder to cry on more than she needs your fist protecting her. I think she needs to hear that somebody loves her. Oh, okay. He came in my room, closed the door, and then sat down beside me. I'm so sorry about all this, baby. Your daddy loves you, and I hope you know that. Also, your daddy needs you to get your ass on stage and start singing, because daddy's fixing, I bet, to buy another ranch. Tears were running down my face. You don't have to go on tonight. Dad said, let's just go home. You don't leave because you're sad. Whether you're a singer or a comedian, you can only cancel if you're too sick to physically go out there. I don't know why, but it seemed like I had to play that show. Swollen face, red eyes and all. I went out and did it knowing that half the people in the room had heard the yelling from the lobby and the other half had to hear the story secondhand. I don't remember singing, but I do remember looking through the crowd and seeing my parents standing alone at the back of the room. I wasn't 41, but my dad still called me baby. That's a Delta Dawn callback. She's 41 and her daddy still. I think I get in trouble if I sing. Oh no. It's only if I play the song. Daddy still calls her baby. And I bet a lot of people were calling me crazy. Talk about singing a prophecy. She thinks Delta Dawn was a prophecy of her own life. Not yet. You're only 32. I sent Presley back to Nashville with Mother and Dad. Then I came home and sat on my back porch for 3 days. I let the phone ring off the hook. When my parents came over, I wouldn't talk. I wore the same sweatsuit. I didn't comb my hair. I didn't take a bath. I wouldn't eat anything or even keep water down. Within a week, I was hospitalized for dehydration, and Dad canceled the rest of my summer concerts. Whoa, 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 Daddy. I see no reason to cancel everything. That's a little hasty. We're almost done, guys. And by the time this book is over, she'll be 11. Okay, that's a joke. She'll probably be 33, I guess. I got to see if there's another one. We won't go right into that. We'll switch it up. All right, termites. Did you get your T-shirt? Send me some pictures of you wearing your T-shirts. I'll wear mine the next time. I'm going to see what sells the most, and then I'll take whatever's left. And then if they all get sold out, I'll order more. If I end up sitting here in a 3 times, I'm counting on you super chubby termites. There's regular termites, semi-chubby termites, chubby termites, and super chubby. Your guys' cost more. I didn't even know they did that. They do, though. It's ridiculous. It's just, oh, why? Because there's this much more material? Come on now. Anyway, pull up your summer sheet. It's still summer. It's still hot. It's not cool anywhere that I know of. Maybe Canada. Somebody posted a video of snow already in Canada. Somewhere. All right. Are you ready? Are you on your favorite pillow? Comfortable? Here we go. Ready? Night-night, termites.